Hello, hello! Perfidious Pete here, back for another round of Collector Cavalcade down in the curious catacombs of Perfidious Manor in Darkest Dungeon. Really, the only thing curious about the catacombs is the fact that every time we go down there, we have to fight the freaking Collector. And please, Darkest Dungeon, I'm begging you here. You got me on my knees, Darkest Dungeon. No more Collector. Just anything else. Literally anything else. The Collector takes 8,000 years to kill, and the fight is just so damned boring. And in any case, it's not even just that it's boring, it's also that it's not difficult. If you're taking anything other than a garbage water trash tier team into the easiest dungeon to try and bootstrap someone up to being useful, the fight isn't even dangerous. It's just boring. And you know what? Now I think about it, even though Bubba did wind up boiled, broiled, barbecued, and fricasseed, deep-fried, pan-fried, etc., last episode, even that wasn't really the direct result of the Collector. Bubba died from a bleed that we just couldn't win a speed roll to avoid. And honestly, you know what? I'm glad he's dead. I really am glad he's dead. The guy has been nothing but a boat anchor since the day we hired him, and I don't feel bad at all about cutting him loose and dropping him into the Gulf like a shrimp net. I really don't. Plus, we got a fallen hero back, so we didn't even really lose ground on our overall number of deaths, because, as you can see, old Shane is back from the hoary netherworld. We thought he rode off on that horse forever. We thought he was gone. We thought that there were no more guns in the valley, but it turns out there was one more gun in the valley. Just like Logan at the end of Logan, because you know he can regenerate from a single drop of blood. He'll be back. So will we. It is important to note, by the way, that Thief in the Night, 8 of our trinkets got stolen. We could choose to try and go fight the old horrid Shrieker, but when I look at this, if you look at the rest of our crew, who's gonna do it? The 4 guys we sent to do it last time who are all afflicted? Yeah, probably not those guys. Who else is gonna do it? A team that is rife with stress? Again, seems like a terrible idea. So what are we gonna do? We're not gonna do it. Instead, we're going to take Heroes and Heretics here, which, by the way, sounds like the delightful name for a bad sort of C-tier Marvel title, Heroes and Heretics. I can see it sort of like Heroes for Hire, except with, I don't know, probably less Misty Knight. We're going to take them down here, and we're going to go try and do this medium veteran level dungeon. And you're saying, Pete, why are you going to do this? Because we need money. We desperately need money. We have so many people who need to get stress relief and no way to pay for it. This is all I got. It's a death-based economy in Darkest Dungeon. This is the way it works. You want money? You gotta murder. That's how it works. If I could do something else, you know, if I could hold a bake sale, I would. No, cancel embark. We actually need to put trinkets on these guys, right? So let's unequip all of our trinkets, and we will sort them by rarity. On the plus side, at least the Horde Shrieker didn't steal our Talisman of Flames, although, you know, I'm kind of worried about that a little bit. Let's gear up for this dungeon, though. Let's focus on what's in front of us and try to make do. So how are we going to equip these guys? Well, for a boy up in the front here, I'm thinking we just go Brawler's Gloves and Commander's Orders. You'd be like, Pete, why aren't you taking the Holy Orders? The minus stress is useful, but I don't expect this dungeon to be necessarily dangerous enough for that to be a chief concern. It does also give us bonus death blow resistance, which additionally is nice, but I'd really kind of rather just have the bonus damage. I really would. Adriana Lacerva, then, is going to be going into the dungeon. What are we going to give her? Well, I'm thinking Sunring is plus stress, right? Yeah, we could do Dismiss's Head, and then just counter that with the Book of Sanity. I don't hate that plan. Or alternatively, we could just go with a little bonus speed from the Feather Crystal, take a little bit of additional stress and give ourselves a little bit of bonus accuracy. Our Hell's Hairpin, I think we got killed in a dungeon, so we don't have that anymore. What about our Cultist, then? More of a tricky scenario here. Not our only healer, so what we're really sort of looking for out of Jay Gatsby is not necessarily bringing the heals. We're going to have somebody else to handle that for us. We do want to switch his skills around a little bit. I'm glad I looked. We will keep him with the heal, because, you know, it's always useful to have a spare. He's going to be rocking Sacrificial Stab, Abyssal Artillery, Weird Reconstruction. Vulnerability Hex doesn't really do us any good because we have nobody to synergize with the mark. We could go for the ghetto stun. We rarely use Hands from the Abyss, mostly just because it's real shitty. There's also Demon's Pull, which does clear corpses, so there's some potential use for that. I think we will go with Demon's Pull instead. I know Hands from the Abyss, and I know we have a trinket that does up our stun, plus 40% stun skill chance. It only stuns one guy, though. One guy. I'd really rather just be able to clear corpses. Well, is that more useful than clearing corpses? How useful is this, really? I mean, it does half damage. It does have a good chance. It will pull someone forward, too, and does eliminate all of the corpses. You know what? No, I changed my mind. I am going to go Hands from the Abyss. We rarely use the Demon's Cauldron. Let's actually just use it. What do we want to give him to go with it, then? Something that's plus damage without adding a bunch of aggregate stress would be handy. He is going to be sacrificial stabbing a lot. Did you just say sacrificial stabbing? Maybe. I mean, I didn't necessarily not say. You know, plus 5 critical would be good, too. Let's just go with that. 10% extra stress. We could deal with that. These guys aren't going to be going on a lot of consecutive missions because they are low level. Which means all we need here is just a Sacred Scroll and a Tome of Holy Healing. And this party is ready to go get some provisions. We're in a medium dungeon. Sacrificial stab. It just seems appropriate. We're going to take 2 full stacks of food. Let's grab, you know what? In order of conserving, or in the interest of conserving a little bit of cash, go a little lighter on the provisions than I ordinarily would. This is a medium dungeon. I'm going to take 14 torches. Pete, I noticed you've been taking more torches lately. You're not wrong. I have been taking more torches lately. Since one of the more recent updates where they changed the hallway length so that longer dungeons actually have longer hallways, you need a little more torchlight than you used to. Short dungeons also typically tend to have shorter hallways. It used to be just there were always 4 little chunks of hallway. I don't really know what to call them. 4 segments, 4 tiles, 4 ticks, 4 pips. There used to be 4 of whatever you want to call them. I'm going to call them thoraxes. There used to be 4 thoraxes between every room, but as you can see, that number varies considerably, and every one of these little thoraxes takes a little bit of extra time, takes a little bit of extra devotion. We know there's a fight down here, so I say it does have a curio. Let's see how these initial fights go. We're going to want to skip at least one of these rooms, and if we could skip a room that has a fight in it, that would potentially be useful. We got the surprise. That's handy, although not. This only works from one of the front 2 positions. Well, we're going to need to change that immediately then. Great shot, Jay. Nice work, buddy. That's a fantastic start for you, dog. It's brilliant work. Oh, also, Adriana Lacerva's skills also appear to be wrong. Her damage, however, appears to be spot fucking on. Good shot from Nell Trent. We're getting some solid work out of y'all here. This is a brilliant start. Little stress wave for Adriana. We do have some small amount of stress relief if the need arises. I'm actually more worried about the damage from the Seaward Slash here. So how about a sacrificial 0 for 2 for Gatsby? Nice work. Another stress wave. Beautiful. Can't help but feel like that man should be dead. And a Seaward Slash to top it off. Wow. Strong start, guys. Everything is going swimmingly. This is exactly how I had hoped we would begin this particular dungeon. Nice work. Yeah, you know what, Quint? Too little, too late, champ. Too little, too late. I appreciate the stress relief. That's nice. Let's go ahead and do this. Give Jay Gatsby drop a little heal on you. Jay's weird reconstructions are going to be pretty unimpressive, unfortunately. We could go for a little stress relief. You know what? I would really rather just this man be dead than take more stress from a critical. And we did manage to get a little bit of stress relief from the kill as well. Okay, so Wicked Hack, yes. Iron Swan, yes. Let's get rid of Break On Through. If it bleeds, yes. And you know what? Adrenaline Rush I like because we can use it to cure blights and bleeds. Your skills are actually correct. Gatsby, I've changed my mind about the Hands from the Abyss because it's trash. Weakening Curse, lower damage. Don't hate it. Yeah, Hands from the Abyss is straight up garbage water. Let's just go for the Demonic Pull. Do we really want an ability that just... I mean, all this really does is clear corpses. Wouldn't Weakening Curse be more useful? You know what? I kind of feel like Weakening Curse actually is going to be more useful here. What if we run into the Collector again? Weakening Curse is handy. And at this point, I just have to assume that a Collector fight is part of every dungeon. There's just one thrown in now. He's hard-coded. Pack has already been looted. So sick of fighting a Collector. So terribly, terribly sick. I'm so sick, I'm like a Flyleaf song up in here, and that only words in that song are, I'm so sick. We're gonna get in a hallway fight. Let's go ahead and max our light level. No surprise for us or them. Acceptable. Here comes a stress wave. Okay, Nell taking a little bit of stress. Shocker for Adriana. She's probably gonna get stunned by this. Can't help but notice that Adriana is not dodging well. Abyssal artillery. Okay, some damage, and Jay Gatsby actually finally managed to connect with the enemy. A little bit of spear fishing. Yeah, we hate that ability strictly because it does critical so damned often. Stress is a problem. We need to get rid of it. It's a problem, and we have the solution. You guys, with the misses, though, what the shit? Stop missing. Oh, good, we got a disease. Oh, minus 20 dodge. Beautiful. That's the debuff. What's the disease, though? And 15 stress. Seriously, though, what's the fucking disease? No, it's fine, Darkest Dungeon. I can wait 20 minutes to look at one of my heroes here. Creeping Cough. Oh, good. Minus 20% damage. That's fucking fantastic. Precisely what we needed. A huge damage penalty. Well, you're useless now. I guess we'll just have you start going for stress relief. That's exactly what we needed. Too little too late, Jay. Too little too late. I don't want to get hit by another damn stress attack. Although, really, I should probably be prioritizing the plated maggot because he's been doing all the work. We're not going to get jacked for damage out of our boy here, so Bartholomew Quint is strictly going to be... he's strictly an inspiring presence henceforth. He'll just be cheering on the team with their no damage. I already despise our chances of making it through this dungeon. This is what we get for taking all of these unconventional teams that we've sort of been rolling with lately. We've been taking a lot of odd duck formations, mostly because we haven't been able to complete a dungeon to get any kind of stress relief or mediation for the teams that we need to get into the dungeon. You wanna... oh, right, that attack can't hit the first slot. Well, I guess we'll just do this then. Give ourselves a... you want to give yourself a damage bonus, though? Adrenaline Rush has to target an enemy? No. It should target you. There you go. Jay, just step back, please. Nell Trent is the only one doing anything. Nell, I appreciate your service to the team. Even though it's... oh, I was going to say not going to prevent Jay Gatsby from coming down with the disease, but the dodge did. Stress relieve yourself, because there's nothing more useful you can do, Bartholomew. We're going to win speed rolls over a snail. I hope, at any rate. A little bit of Wicked Hack. Turns out we can beat a snail. I mean, only just, but we can beat it. Also, could you please put these skills in their appropriate order? Thank you. I really wish when it added skills to the bar, it just added them in the order that they are in the list. That's really all it needs to do. We're skipping that room. I've decided. I've come to a decision. I'm comfortable with the decision. I'm going to throw some medicinal herbs on this because we do have two. Got his cleansed. Hello, gold.
The match is struck.
So, we want to get rid of something. What do we want to get rid of? Blight and bleeds are both a possibility. Medicine is going to be useful. Oddly enough, holy water is shockingly useful down here. So I think what we're going to get rid of is the crests because I want the gold. I don't care about the citrine at all. The citrine, you citrine, I'll see you in hell. The rest of the stuff, though, no, it's too good for hell. The rest of that stuff, it knows the love and caressing touch of our Lord and Savior, Dark Cthulhu. Well, I was going to say I hate this fight, but the fact that there's no pelagic shaman in it at all makes me shockingly okay with what's going on. We've got a chance with the surprise to kill the stress unit before they've got much of an opportunity to do catastrophic damage to us. I can't help but feel like Jay Gatsby really let us down on that one. You fucking dropped the ball, Gatsby. Now this guy's gonna go double round on us, which I fucking hate. Well, at least we got a little bit of damage out of Quint. Technically, we do have fatal damage on that unit, so he won't get to go double round on us. The bleed is gonna kick him next time he gets to go. Little spear fishing for Nell. Alright, just 5 damage. As long as that attack doesn't critical, I largely don't care about it. Adriana with the sweet dodge. This guy's just going to guard somebody. Yeah, well, guard that bleed off of him. Oh, wait, you can't. Sorry. You're just going to have to sit there and watch as your love perishes at your feet because you couldn't save her. Now you know how Superman feels every time somebody kills Lois Lane. Doesn't feel very good, does it? Comes the old spearfish with the whiff. Nell Trent with the surprise dodge. I think we'll just stab you in the face. Nice shot from Jay Gatsby. Huge stress relief, too. You know what, Jay? You get a heal. You earned it. You earned it. Little Octocestus for Adriana, the adept dodge. I'm thinking we go for stress relief here. Adriana has a little more than I'm comfortable with. We would try to keep, of course, try and keep stress levels low. That's the thing we always need to do. You don't do enough damage to really need a weakening curse. You have a lot of health, which means mostly we just want to hit you with bleeds and really anything else we can find. Nice critical heal for some self-stress relief there. This means Adriana, who just hit you for 2, is going to be extraordinarily useful, and everybody else is likely going to be just doing sort of abilities. Chipping in damage wherever they can. We resisted the bleed. I mean, we can have Jay just keep trying to stab you in the face, but mostly all we want is just the bleed. That bleed is going to do as much or more damage than anything else we might choose to swing at this man. See? Bled for 6. Comes the Octocestus again. Adriana's just not having this guy. She's got his number. He can't hit her. Like a major league pitcher, just be like, you know, I don't know what it is. This guy, he's got my number. I can't hit him. He's got the good stuff against me. I don't know what to do. 7 stress, 10 stress. Let's get rid of that 10. I'm actually shockingly salty about the disease that Quint picked up. Shockingly salty. Also, the potential subtitle for the Perfidious Pete autobiography. Perfidious Pete, shockingly salty. I'm just going to throw this food on the floor. I would really rather have the longevity patch, not because it's good, but because as a green trinket. Well, one, it's something we could pad out our trinket roster with to try and get the Horrid Shrieker to accidentally steal. There's that. You know what? Just touch it. Lasting impact on a hero. What'd you get, dog? Ooh, Precise Striker is bonus critical, is it not? Hell yeah, that's real good. Okay, nice. But it gives us something we can use to pad out our trinket inventory and maybe the Shrieker. I think he just steals random trinkets. I don't really know how the Shrieker mechanics work entirely. This is my first run that featured the Shrieker in it. By the way, thanks Red Hook for increasing the difficulty as I'm doing my New Game Plus playthrough. Nice of ya. I'm not firing shots at Red Hook. I actually think Red Hook Studios are fantastic developers and I have nothing but good things to say about them. Just because they've made some improvements and changes to the overall gameplay, they are still improvements and changes, even though they have negatively impacted this run. It'll be a positive impact on all future runs. So my shocking saltiness does not apply in this case. I'm still shockingly salty, but I'm not shockingly salty about the changes they've made. I would say I'm shockingly salty about Jay Gatsby's performance, but I don't think there's anything to be shocked about. The guy's doing a shit job. I'm just hopeful we can kill one of these guys. Perfect. Half the team missed. Great work, guys. Great work. Now all we need is for half of their team to also miss. Okay, so fair is fair then. All right. 3 out of 4. I'll take it. Never mind. Nobody can hit anything. Everybody has gone blind. I take it back. Well, here's an opportunity where that stun would actually be useful. Instead, Jay Gatsby managed to do some damage for a change. Nell takes a little bit of day to the face. It's fine. She can't stand her ground. Your guys' position is by and large irrelevant. Especially if that spearfishing had hit, it could have shuffled us back to where we belong. I don't want to give this guy a chance to hit me. He's the only man who hasn't gone. He's also the only man who has damage. So you know what? Smart move there. Make sure he doesn't get a chance to do damage again. And then have Nell bomb that man back into the Stone Ages with a Thor-like bolt of lightning. The Thunder God is proud of you, Lovely. Is it sexist for me to call her my Lovely just because she's a girl? I don't think so, because, like, you know, if Jay Gatsby could pull, like, a 30 damage critical here, I would be equally likely to call Jay Gatsby my Lovely. You are not my Lovely, however, Gatsby. You are a failure. It's all right, though. Adriana, you know what? I was going to say Adriana will clean up the mess, but she's actually not going to. Nell will clean up the mess, because cleaning up messes is what Nell Trent does.
This expedition success.
Yeah, you know, you say that, but I'm not convinced. You always say that. This mission promises success. It doesn't promise shit. The only thing this mission promises is stress and misfortune. All the rest of this goes on the ground. I'm really going to be heavily focused on gold here. I was, in fact, tempted to throw those torches on the ground, but we have so much more dungeon to get through. This is why I hate the Cove. It's really fight dense. That's one problem you have in the Cove that you don't often get in other locations. You don't get as many fights. It's not that the fights are more difficult or anything, it's just they're so numerous. Everything in the Cove takes 1 trillion years. At least Jay Gatsby did some damage there. A non-zero chance for a knockout blow. Got it. Nell. Got close. Missed it by 1. I was going to be salty about that, but you know what? Nah. You gave it your best shot? No. You gave it your best shot, and surprise, your shot came up short. And once again, Kevin Costner has to watch Whitney Houston bleed to death. Oh, take that, Mr. Bodyguard. You will always love me. Yeah, well, that always is going to be pretty goddamn short. It ain't much of a promise. It's something I never got about the Bodyguard, too. What was everybody always like? Oh, it's the romance between those two is so beautiful. And it really wasn't. I mean, they were together for all like 10 minutes, and then he dies at the end. No, spoilers, but still. Pete, you could have racked a kill there with Adriana Lacerva. Could have, but she'd already taken her turn this time. So there was really no reason, and also I wanted to start getting bleed stacked on Pelagic Asshole here, and we're going to have Quint just go for some stress relief, because hitting this dude for 3 damage a pop with his sword really ain't cutting the mustard. Old Octocestus, of course, dodge, because I'm telling you, Adriana Lacerva, she's got this guy's number. She's got his number. Hit him with the Weakening Curse. It's going to do a minimum of 1 damage, and with the protection buff this guy has going right now, that 1 damage is just about as much as we would have gotten anyway. Unfortunate part here is we can no longer whack him with any additional bleeds because he is in the front of the pile now. Alright, Adriana took 1, resisted the bleed. Probably should have gone for stress relief there, but without the bleed in play, anybody's swing is just as good as anybody else's. 8 damage from Adriana. Damage is all Adriana's got to deliver here, by the way. I'm going to hit you with another Weakening Curse because that debuff does stack. 7 damage. Adriana should mop you up on the next turn. We don't have fatal damage because that bleed just wore off. Yeah, so he hit us for a 1. We resisted the bleed. You got nothing left in the tank, champ. Sorry. Could hit him with another Weakening Curse. I'm tempted to. Instead, I'm just going to kill him. Now is not the time to start toying with the guy. Now is not the moment to take stupid chances. Now is the moment to kill. What is a fish idol? I feel like the appropriate curio to interact with you would be a bucket of tartar sauce. But I don't have one. What if we just touch it? Well, it's real bad. What did we get? Minus 12 dodge until camp. As far as debuffs go, you know what? That one is fairly reasonable. Did we just find a secret room? No. We did not. We need to find a secret room because I really need the treasures contained therein. Oh, no, please don't cleanse yourself. Oh, never mind. Fortune smiles upon us. I was worried you were going to cleanse yourself in the holy fires of creation, but it turns out everything's okay. We're fine. And honestly, I'm a little crunched for time on recording today. We're like 25 minutes into this episode. We still got a lot of dungeon left to go through. And as I've said, the Cove is so fight dense. I'm actually going to wrap this one up. I hate to check out early, but I've just finished that 82-minute collector fight. And honestly, I still got a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. So what am I going to do? Pour myself 3 fingers of scotch and try and wash that taste right out of my mouth. Just like you can wash that gray right out of your hair. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to drop a like down in the comment section. Support really does mean a lot. I'm sorry for busting out a little bit early, but again, I'm weary and I can tell my commentary is suffering as a result. So sometimes it's best to just know when you're licked and call it a day. If you want to see more of me knowing when I'm licked and calling it a day, which is pretty much 100% of the time, might consider subscribing as well. Post new episodes of Darkest Dungeon every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Right now, thanks very much for watching. See you again soon.